Hey guys, it's Henry over at Mowers and Blowers. I haven't been on a lawnmower pick in quite a long time, especially a push mower. You know, sales have been slow because it's that time of season. But, you know, once in a while you still see one. This guy was offering a really old Craftsman Eager 1 for 20 bucks. And it's been stored for 4 years, and he doesn't know if it starts or not. But it's a really old one. It's like one of those Vantage or Legend ones, Tecumseh engines. Anyway, I said I'll come pick it up for free if you get tired of trying to sell it, and he's like, yeah, come get it. So I'm over here in Kings Park, Long Island, and I just pulled up into his driveway. Check it out. Has the old style self-propulsion, right? Front drive 20, Eager 1. It's got the primer over here. Anyway, I'll put that in. And see what we find. Whatever, free. So I've got this thing back home, and it's very interesting, I'll tell you. I've personally never had one of these before. I've seen them online a few times, and I never knew what this wing spoiler looking thing was. But now I know. This is actually the cover guard for the gear, the drive gear, that when you lower it, it touches the wheels and spins the wheels that way for the propulsion. This deck is in good shape, man. I mean, obviously this is a very old machine. You know, look, it says Sears Craftsman 3.5 reserve power, solid state electronic ignition. How many times do you see the word solid state these days? You don't. It's a Tecumseh engine. Everything looks good. Like, you know, over the years, you would figure that these gears would be all ground out, you know, but dude probably used this only on grass. The only times you see these things rubbed out pretty badly is people run them on concrete, which I don't understand why you would do. Even the cable looks good. This is the Eager 1 Tecumseh motor that has the side recoil starter on the side. Oh, I gotta tell you, it's very loose. Like there's no compression. Primer bulb is on the top here like that. Still feels pretty good. Typical Tecumseh gas tank. Bone dry. He says he hasn't run in 4 years, you know. On the other side here is the older Tecumseh carburetor with the usual air filter. And that just pops on like that, you know. Small little round muffler, you know. These are convenient sometimes when you need to fit a muffler in there. That's a nice small one. I've actually had to buy some of those a few times. Handles look pretty good. Some surface rust, but it's that, you know, chrome steel they used to use. Bagger still looks good. I mean, the guy that used to have this, I mean, this is very old, you know, obviously. And for it to be in this condition, I mean, probably hardly used it and just kept it in the garage for many years, you know. Anyway, check this out. So this is how you engage the drive. So it pulls, right? You rotate it and this pulls. Look at that. It just basically lowers that gear, the drive gear, to touch the front wheels. Now when I push, see, it's stuck. But then I let go and it doesn't really release. Okay. Maybe just need some Earl. See, watch this. I'm going to rotate it. See? Now it just touches the wheel, and that's how it drives. But it doesn't release unless you push it. So what I'm going to do now is, since the guy said he hasn't run in 4 years, but he drained it before he stored it, drained the thing, so I mean there was no gas, whatever. Technically, if what he says is true, I should just check the oil, put some gas in, and try it. Would it be so easy? Let's hope. So I put gas in it, and it's leaking like a mother. I mean, bad. You know, I'm going to try to start it anyway. I put it on its side for now so it doesn't leak gas anymore. I could have just clamped it off, but I wanted to check out the blades anyway. So, you know, now that you put it on the side, gas is not going to go into the hose. Blades are in great shape. Sharp too. Nice blades. Look at this. To stop it, you push this metal thing down so that it touches the spark plug. That's how it gets it to ground. Won't you shock yourself? Because this thing's metal, you know? Anyway, that's how you stop it, man. Just put this metal tab down to touch the spark plug. That's your ground to kill it. Amazing. Never ever seen that before. How about you guys? You guys seen that? Crazy talk, man. Look at that. That's how it works. Anyway, I don't know if it's getting any spark, but I'm going to check it out. Spark plug's a little oily, so I'll just wire bristle brush that a little bit, clean it up. But I pulled on it and I actually shocked myself, so it's getting spark. See, I was afraid to touch it because it might electrocute me. How about that, man? That's how you stop it. Amazing. Anyway, that seems to, wow. I mean, just, you know, took the spark plug out, I cleaned it. I tightened this little attachment here a little bit so it makes better contact with the spark plug, you know. That way you get a better spark. And it started right up in the first pull, man. That's pretty bad leak there, so it's probably the seat or the bowl gasket. I'm going to take it apart and check it out. So I clamped off that fuel line again so that fuel doesn't leak all over the place. Fastest way to do it is just impact that baby off, you know. So once the carburetor came right off, I disconnected the fuel line and the two linkages. Make sure you take a picture of where those linkages went. I've done it so many times I know it by heart. Flip it over and you use a 1/2-inch wrench. Take off this bowl nut. It was pretty loose already. Maybe why it was, hopefully that's why it was leaking, you know. It was pretty loose. Probably could have hand loosened it. It was so loose. Gasket's in good shape. Okay, here we go. Seen worse, right? You guys all have. Look at this gasket. Gasket looks okay, but I don't know whether or not it was on there right, you know. So it's so loose. I'm going to check the seat now by removing this pin. That's pretty easy. Needle looks a little worn. See how it's rounded and stuff? Yeah, it's pretty old. So you shake it. It's good. There's no, well, there goes the pin. Oh, there it is. It's a little rounded, guys. You guys have seen this before, right? It's usually pretty sharp. That one's kind of rounded. That might have something to do with it. Seat looks good, actually. Usually if you see deterioration, like it's wilting or something, but that looks okay. I'm going to change the needle and put it back together. After further review of the gasket, it looks good just from looking, right? But then bend it. Check that out. It's all cracked. It's mush. See? So brittle. It's not going to hold anything. I'm going to have to change a gasket. So I've got this other needle. Can you guys tell the slight differences? The one on the right is a little pointier than the one on the left. Even though by the naked eye it kind of looks okay, it's going to make some kind of difference, you know? See how the one on the right is a little bit sharper than the one on the left? The one on the left is the one I took out of there. The one on the right is another one I took from another carburetor. I'm going to see if I can find a better one than that, but I'm going to use that one. Just used a wired bristle brush. Cleaned out the bowl nicely. I found a better needle than the other one. This one looks newer. Sharp tip. Good condition. I got it from this spare Tecumseh. Had a good gasket too, so I'm going to use that gasket. So I'm going to leave the seat the way it is because it looks okay. Change the gasket, new pin, clean the bowl. I'm going to brush that crap off too. So you see the way the bowl sits? It's it needs to be like down more. It needs to be like that, you know? So it's popping up a little bit. I'm going to adjust that. This part in there. I'm going to bend it in a little bit so that it goes down a little bit more. It's popping up too much. I'm almost done, but this bowl nut needs to be cleaned out. Got to stick a wire through that hole too. I even cleaned out the inside because there was a lot of corrosion inside. It's nice and clean now. Brushed away a lot of crap that was here. Clean that a little bit. I'm going to put the carburetor back on. While I was putting this on, I did notice this. This is the primer hose. And when you squeeze it, there's a hole there. See? So that's not making a good seal with the primer. So when you push the primer bulb, it's just air. So I'm going to just chop that part off and hope it reaches. Just took the clamp off the fuel line, so fuel should be free flowing. Good news is I don't feel any leaks. So because of that, I feel pretty good about putting this back on again. Well, alright, so this is back on again, and there are no leaks. Primer bulb still doesn't feel that right though. Like when I do this, fuel's supposed to start coming out of there. Well, maybe I should add some more fuel in the gas tank. So I thought it wasn't getting any fuel because the primer just wasn't shooting any fuel into the area. Then when I shot some carb cleaner in it, it did fire up for a second, you know. So I took this part again, and I realized that the fuel wasn't reaching that mesh area. You know, there was when you opened it up, it looks like there was fuel in it, but it wasn't reaching enough to go into the bowl. You know, so now when I push the primer, you see that? You see moisture going in there. There you go. It's shooting out now with gas, so this should start now. works. I mean, I'm always afraid because it's metal, you know what I'm saying? I'm afraid to get shocked, but once you touch it, it stops. So that's cool, man. How about that? That's great. Anyway, man, that was it. Changed a gasket and a needle and cleaned the carb. That's all this thing needed, man. Fires right up. And clean up that air cleaner and put it back on and give this baby a little bit of a wash. Take some pictures. I know it's old. Maybe somebody give me $100 for it. Maybe. Anyway, that was, interesting. Definitely a first for me, See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. That cleaned up really nicely. Pretty easy flip. Just a carb clean.